Hi, and welcome to our first online roller class. Welcome back to those of you who have done a roller Pilates with me before on Monday nights over Zoom. So now it's time for us to offer this class over YouTube, and you have access to it then at any time. And we'll continue with the schedule. I'm going to try to release one or two classes per month, and then you can just go back and watch them do the whole class or part of the class any way you like. We'll do this as an all-level class like we usually do. So if you're new to Pilates, you're just returning, you have any injuries, you can follow level 1 or 2. If you want to challenge yourself, you want to try something new, you can try the level 3 option as well. Today we're only going to use the roller. You don't need any of the props, but a good sturdy foam roller is what we need. Also a good mat with good cushioning. If you're in a hardwood floor at home, maybe doubling up on the mats can be a good idea, especially if you have any soreness in your knees or in your lower spine. So let's get started. This class is about 50 to 55 minutes total. We won't take a lot of breaks once we get going, so just know that you can always hit the stop button if you want to take a little break for yourself. We're going to start with rolling out the back. So go ahead and place your roller across your mat. And let's have a seat in front of it. You can place your back then on top of the roller, have it sort of in the lower rib cage area to start, and then we can put our hands on the back of our head, let the elbows pull in around the side of the head like this, and then you can go ahead and lift your hips up off the floor. Once we're here, we're going to roll our back up and down over the roller. Try to avoid the neck, as well as avoid the lower back here. So we kind of try to stay right in that mid-thoracic area of the spine. This is where we tend to be tight too. So you might hear a little popping. You might feel a little bit of pain there, a little soreness. So just go easy here. It helps to take some deep breaths as we move back and forth. And hopefully over time here, this is going to get a little easier as we start to loosen up our back. Very good. And then let's have a seat. And to finish this up, we can just open up our elbows to the sides and let the back drape over the roller here, stretching out. And then come up again. Do that once or twice here. And then we come up from there, and then we can go ahead and take the roller back or next to us, and then we're going to come back onto our back. So carefully rolling back here onto your mat. Grab our roller. And then going to hold it here on the outer edges. Getting into a neutral spine for now. Just feel like you allow that natural curvature of your back. And we take a deep breath in. Exhale to extend the roller, and inhale to lower. Exhale to extend, inhale to lower. And just bringing the awareness here to your breath. Trying to fill up the bottom of your lungs as you breathe here. That's going to be really essential for all the Pilates work that we do. We try to get the breath to move. And then we can hold the roller over our shoulders here. And now we're going to move the spine with the breath. So take a deep breath in, exhale, and then let the lower back imprint. Inhale back to neutral spine. So as you can see, I'm letting my lower back sort of flex or gently press into the mat and then release back here. It's barely visible. But it tends to feel pretty good here when we do this. So imprint and release. Do one more. Imprint. And then we try to stay in this imprint, try to keep the lower back supported here. And we're going to take one foot at the time off the floor. Now we're going to do something a little different today. So typically we have our legs in a tabletop like this. But today, go ahead and cross your ankles a little bit. Have your knees a couple of inches apart here. Now holding onto your roller, you're going to let the legs very slowly lower down away from you. Exhaling. Inhale to come back here. Knees go back over our hips. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to come back. And we're trying to keep our imprint intact while we do this. Now, if you're getting too tired in your arms and shoulders to hold your roller up, you can just bring it down here and just continue working your legs. This is a good one for really waking up that lower core. So you're trying to maintain that imprint the whole time here. Here we go, one more time. And then we can set our feet back down again to release here. Very good. So now let's do a little shoulder warm up too here. We're going to focus a little bit on the upper body. So let's see if we can bring the arms overhead and then forward. Trying to do this with a back that's now neutral. So the back is on the floor, but I have a little gap in my lower back here. And this is just a warm up. So if we can put our hands all the way back behind our head, that's okay. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And we hold the roller back where it came from here. We lift it up. We let the shoulder blades leave the floor, and then we lower it down here. Press the shoulder blades into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice now that I'm not moving my elbows. Elbows are straight here. Good. And then we set our roller back down for a moment. And we're going to put our hands now on the back of our head. So interlacing the fingers here on the back of the head. And make a little curl of your neck. So you kind of do a little bit of an ab prep almost here. But mainly focusing on stretching out the back of the neck. Breathing out. Breathing in. So to really highlight the core here, we can place the soles of our feet together. So just fit the soles right here in the crack there in the hip. We do this. So it's a good stretch here, getting the knees out to the sides. And then we come up from there. And back down. Lifting up. And back down. So now picture that you have a zipper through the core here, starting at the pubic bone and ending right at the sternum, and that zipper is zipping up as you lift up here. Breathing out, breathing in. We're also trying to press the soles of our feet together here, so we're getting that whole full body workout. But we can actually bring the roller back in here, so carefully reach for that roller, and then we're going to take the roller up with us here, up and back down. Now, if this is too hard for the neck, maybe you're feeling a lot of fatigue here in your neck when you do this, then you feel free to keep your hands on the back of your head. Couple more. Last one. And come back from there. Good. So now let's roll to our side from there. Let's come up into all four. Place our hands on top of the roller. We do what we call a little quadruped here. And one of my favorite stretches that you can do with a roller is the cat stretch. But I want to build on this a little bit, so we do what we call the waterfall. So picture like you're starting with a neutral spine, like you have a broomstick on your back. Then you make the cat shape here, pushing the lower back into the ceiling, lifting the shoulders up, and then we're going into what we call the waterfall, where the roller rolls forward here, and you let your head sort of drop through the shoulders, and you pull back up again and back where we started. So first the cat. Inhale. You can exhale here too. Kind of free breath here. And then I like to breathe out here. Take another breath. Exhale, pull back. Inhale to release. There's a lot of movement. So we might want to throw an extra breath in here and there. But the point of it all is to really mobilize your spine, lifting up, rolling through. Be careful here if you have a sore shoulder. You might want to hold back a little bit on that rolling and then come back to release. Let's do one more. Up, roll through, up, and release. Good. Another favorite that I know a lot of people like is the twist here, the thoracic twist. So for this one, we take our right hand up, let the upper body rotate, and then you just thread that arm under. A couple of options here. You can keep this elbow bent, the left elbow, or if you can, roll that arm out. Keep most of the weight here on your knees, and try to keep your hips from rotating. Breathing in, and then exhale, and come back. Inhale on the left side. Now we exhale out, holding it. Take one or two more breaths here. And let's do one more on each side here. Breathing in, and we come back. And release. Last one here. And again, modify as needed. Maybe I don't want the roller to go forward here. Maybe I want to keep that elbow bent, and also avoiding to putting a lot of pressure on the neck here. So just find what feels best for your body. You can even put your head on the roller. There are lots of options here to make it work for you. And then come back and release. Very good. So from here now, let's come face down, and we do a little gentle scapula warm up here too. I like to do long warm ups. That way we can work extra hard when we get to the workout here. But it's also for safety purposes. So spread your arms out on your roller here. You can go all the way to the corners if you want to, and have your nose hover about an inch off the floor. We do a little scapula roll up, like you're trying to lift the shoulders to your ears, and then down and away. Inhale, exhale. Feet can be a little closer together too. But we stay with that emphasis on the core here. So I want the pelvis to be connected to the floor, and I want the abdominals to kind of lift in here to stabilize the body. In and out. Then we can move the roller a little bit closer here and start to lift up through the upper body. Just come up to look at the roller and then release back down. Exhale as you roll up. Inhale as you roll back down. And this is when it becomes obvious why we try to roll out. It's a little more clear why we roll out the mid back in the beginning here, because if we're really tight in the mid back, the lower back has to do all the work. But if we're getting a little more mobility early on in the mid back, we can then get a little extension here, really get the shoulders to move down, build some of that strength for better posture here. Good. Let's go to child's pose now. It's also always good to rest after doing this. So we sit back onto our heels. Shift a little bit side to side. And feel free to bring in your roller as a tool to stretch with as well when you're doing your child's pose. You might like to put it underneath your ribs, not right on your diaphragm or your stomach. I've had lunch here. I'm going to press into that too much. I just feel like you'll have a little bit of opportunity to round the spine a little bit more if you're tight back there. Some of you might also like to put the roller behind your seat, which can be nice here if we have any limitations in our knees, and that way we can rest a little bit more in our child's pose. So playing with that a little bit can be nice here. The roller class is not only about working hard, I also want to find some great ways to stretch and to open up the body. Okay, very good. So we're going to come out of that now, and it's time to get to work. So let's have a seat now on the mat, and we're going to do our half roll back here with the roller, and we're going to try to keep our feet on the ground. So curl your toes in, or keep the toes glued to the floor here. You're going to place your hands on top of the roller, or maybe your forearms if your arms are a little bit longer. And you're going to think that you can go into a little C curve with the lower back moving back towards the floor. And your arms are going to press down as you do this. So we take a breath in, exhale, rolling back, pressing into the roller with your hands, and then coming up from there. Softening the shoulders here. Shoulders away from our ears. And if you find we're still gripping in our neck here, we can move the hands out a little bit wider apart here on the roller. There really is no end to how hard you can press down though. This can be a pretty challenging exercise. You can really push down very hard here, feeling a lot of work right in the center of the core. And that's important too, that we think that we pull the core in as we're going back, helping to activate it. Very good. 2 more times. 1 more time. And then coming back to release. Very good. We're going to stay seated now. And working a little bit more on rotation is always a good idea. And often we do this sitting on the roller, but see if you can sit on the floor today, or if you have a pillow handy, you can sit on the pillow. You're going to use the roller for a twist, so try to come down onto your sit bones, sit in your most comfortable way, and a hold in the roller in front of you. You're going to go ahead and bring it out into a little bit more of an extension when we're getting ready to twist. So I have my shoulders ready, I press out, and then I rotate 1, 2, 3, come back, bring the roller in, bring the roller out, 1, 2, 3, back, in, out, 1, 2, 3, back, in, and out. Tell one side is tighter than the other. I can see my roller is a little bit crooked here. That's what happens. 1, 2, 3, back, in, and out. 1, 2, 3, back, in. Last 2 here. 1, 2, 3, back, in. Last one. In and out and release. I wasn't able to release that kink, not yet, but we'll get there. Okay, so now getting onto the roller for leg series. So we haven't really spent any time here yet today, so we may want to take a little time to get used to working in this mode. But you're going to come up into the roller and you're going to place your spine on top of the roller here. And a good way to do this is just have a seat on one end of the roller, tuck your tailbone in a little bit so it's not in the way here, it's not getting crushed underneath. And then you're going to come back onto your back from there. My screen just froze here. Okay, so you're back, and you're going to roll yourself down. Making sure your head is on the roller, making sure your tailbone is on the roller here. And we're tucking in like we're going into a little bit of an imprint on the roller here, so we support the lower spine. So to hold our balance, now we can put our hands out to the sides. So keep our arms a little bit out to the sides here. And then we're going to walk one foot at a time into a tabletop. So kind of like what we started with earlier in the class here. But now we're up on the roller doing this. So we take a breath in, right leg comes up. Breath out, left leg comes up. So now we're balancing. Now hold in this position, letting the shoulders relax down here. We're going to extend one leg out and then alternate here. Single leg stretch. Not to be confused with the bicycle. It's not exactly a bicycle motion here. It's more like a reach, 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 reach. What's great about doing this on the roller, that most of the exercises we're doing here today do not involve lifting the head. So we don't have to stress our neck too much here. But reaching, reach, reach, reach. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're back from there, setting your feet down. Very good. Now, we're going into a neutral spine, so open that little gap here in your lower back. And you can put your hands in the back of your head. And just really think like your head is like a bowling ball here, allowing the neck and the throat to be relaxed. We point the elbows out to the sides, and we twist up to one side and back. Twist up to the other side and back. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing. Very good. All while trying to keep the pelvis and the lower body stable here. You do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come back. Okay, rest the head again. Now it's back to a little imprint here with your spine on the roller. And now we're going into double leg stretch. So both feet come up. And let's just imagine we're pushing a heavy box with our feet. So straightening up, coming back. It's good to take breaks here when we do this, because this is a series that tends to be really challenging, and after a while we might feel like you're losing that core support. You might want to start over again and come back to it. I'm saying this as we're going into the next exercise, which is lift and lower. So ideally the legs are straight here. You're lowering down, lifting up. That can be too much though for the lower back. So feel free to modify here by bending your knees. Okay. Could even have one foot on the floor. So finding out options for yourself, it is one of the key practices, I think, of Pilates, that there are no rules for how each person should do an exercise. It should be the way that works for your body. So we can get through the practice and feel good and get stronger. Very good. Okay, everybody, get your feet down on the floor. Let's take a little recovery breath here. We're not done yet. Now we're going to go into leg circles. Okay, so we're being kind of efficient here. We're taking both feet back up, and we're doing the double legs circles. You're coming up, you circle around, bring the feet back together, and then up, circle around, back all while keeping our imprint. Very good. We can get through about 5 here, and then we can switch direction. But again, you might find that, okay, that's too much for my back. I don't like that. One foot on the floor here and do a single leg circle instead. The emphasis is always about the core, always keeping the pelvis and everything else stabilized here. So finding out what works for you. Very good. And then we set our feet back down. Great. Now let's carefully slip off your roller and go ahead and place it across the mat once again. And you're going to come back here onto your back. Now lifting our hips up here, and we're finishing up our leg series with the scissors. So this is a sort of a feel-good exercise after what we just did here. So get your sacrum up on the roller in a comfortable way. Then we straighten out our legs here carefully, and then we open up 1, 2, 1, 2. Stable core here, so the back doesn't move as I'm scissoring. And a big part of that really depends on the placement of your hips, or the placement of your pelvis here on the roller. If the roller is too high up or too far down, it's going to be hard to keep the stability here. So finding that sweet spot. Reach and reach. Breathe and breathe. Stretch and stretch. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Very good. Our feet come back together. We bend our knees and come down from there. Now on your way down, go ahead and pick up the roller with your feet. We'll do a little recovery exercise here before going into our bridge. So think like you're going to scoot up a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing. Think like you're just going to try to release and open up the hips here. So you can let your arms just rest by your sides. Turn your feet out to the side now and just roll the roller down. And then roll it back up. And I'm turning the feet out on the way down. And then I'll bring the feet back to parallel on the way up. So we're finding that balance here between working hard, getting that exertion, and recovering, which is also important here. The body to really absorb the training that we're doing. Great. Now we're coming back to a little bit of bridge work here. So the 2 ways you can do this. You can place your feet on top of the roller, put your arms by your sides here, and then you're going to roll and trickle your way up into a bridge. So take a full breath in, exhale, roll your spine and come up 1 vertebrae at a time, and then roll back down. This may cause some cramping in the hamstrings. So if that's too intense for you, feel free to modify a little bit by picking up the roller here with your hands. And do the bridge here, or the hip roll here. I encourage you though to really try to work with this and challenge your hamstrings a little bit. It's very common for us to be overly strong or tight, mainly overly strong and overwhelmed in our quads, and often not developed enough in our hamstrings. So the more we can get those hamstrings to work here and include them in the work, in our bridge, whatever we're doing, the better, right? Very good. 1 more here, rolling up, rolling back down. Okay, so I can feel that tightness from the back of the leg. Builds up quickly. So now, move the roller a little bit off side to the side here, so one leg is free to move. And you put the other foot here on the roller. So we do a little step up. You keep both legs bent here. I'm having my right leg on the roller, but try to keep a neutral pelvis here. I'm going to press my arms pretty firmly into the floor, and then we're going to lift up, go back down. Lift up, go back down. This leg gets to straighten out a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, glutes and hamstrings, 7, and 8. Good. That's about all I can handle here on that side. So let's try the other side here with the roller over. Let's try it on this side here now. So you get the roller to, and again, if this doesn't work for you at home, I'll give you a good modification here. But let's get started here first with those of you doing the full exercise. Keep the foot on the roller, kick up, come back down. Include those glutes and hamstrings, and lift up. Okay, so what if this is not a good option for you? You can kind of do what we did in the beginning here. Hold the roller, come up, and do this, right? This is still pretty hard work. But maybe a little bit more attainable here. I feel like we have a little more stability and strength for this. So find the level. Okay, we not doing more than 8 of those step ups there on the roller. Very good. And then come back to release. Excellent. All right. We're cruising along here. I have a lot of exercises planned for us in today's workout because, like I said, there's not a lot of breaks. So we can be very efficient in our training. So now let's do some opening for the hamstring, a little bit of mobility for the spine. Again, we're going to do what we call the saw. Go ahead and have a seat now on your roller. And you can put your heels on either side of your mat like this. We're going to sit up tall so we keep our body right on top of our sit bones. And it's a little bit of a forward bend that we do, and it's a little bit of a rotation. We can practice the forward bend first in what we call the spine stretch forward, which is palms facing up, tall spine, and then we crawl into our top. We let the head nod, and we roll down before we roll forward. And all the while we're trying to keep our abdominals connected. Roll back up. And release. Another way of thinking about this is like picturing that you have your lower back up against the wall. So the lower back doesn't really leave the wall very much. It's the upper back that's trickling up and down here. Right, one more time. And then we're going to put this to work in the saw. So we open our arms up a little bit, extending a little wider than with our legs here. We rotate a little bit over the right leg, and now we're doing the same motion here, crawling into our top as we reach the arms apart. Come back out of the top, back to center, rotate over the other leg here, crawling into our top. Breathe in, back to center. Another thing we can another image here is reaching over the picket fence. Like you had a picket fence here between yourself and your foot or your leg, and you have to kind of get over that fence. Really helps us stretch our back here too. One more time. Coming back. And release. Very nice. All right, I think we've gone through we haven't gone through all the hard stuff, not yet. But remember we did the quadruped in the beginning of class. We did that little warm-up. So working back from that, we're going to try to find a good core stability for our shoulders. And then we're going to build on that in what we call the leg pull in Pilates. So you can have your hands on the roller if you're okay with that. Or you can also move down onto your elbows if that's your preference here to save the wrist a little bit. All of us, though, whether we're doing elbows or hands, want to have a little bit of what we call protraction of the shoulder. So in other words, if I'm on my hands, I'm pushing away a little bit. So I'm creating a nice round shoulder here in the back. What I want to avoid is this falling through my shoulders. So it's really like where's my torso in relationship to my shoulders here? My torso to be level with or a little bit above, not below here. You can think about that. Same thing with the elbows. You're just pushing away a little bit. Feel that strength. That also makes us stronger because we get those serratus muscles to do the work here. All right, I'll start with this on my elbows here today. I'm going to walk my knees out, spot the front of my mat, keep the core engaged, really keeping the core engaged. You're pulling those abdominals in here, then curling the toes under and lifting up into plank. Plank in Pilates we call out leg pull. And so here we can just press the heels back, move the heels forward. Press the heels back, move the heels forward. But you're keeping that plank, keeping that leg pull intact the whole time here. Same thing here. Pressing away, look at the front of your mat. Very good. Take a little break there. The name leg pull derives from the fact that we like to also do some single leg with this. So let's go back to it and throw in a couple of single leg repetitions just to kind of get that extra core work out of it. So again, pick the hand position that works for you. Come back here. Drop the hips, spot the front of the mat. Core engaged. Then we lift one foot and we press it back, bring it home, and release. Lift one foot, press it back, bring it home, release. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Oh yeah, flex, point, flex, point. There's so much to think about here that if you get half of it, we're doing pretty good. But that's the leg pull. Flex, point, flex, release. Flex, point, flex, release. And then we can tell when the form is starting to go south, it's time to take a little break there. Woo! It's a lot of hard work. Lots to work on there. Lots to think about. Very good. But it kind of start with that quadruped, again, getting the nice softening through the shoulder. So take your roller now and swing it back or down towards your feet. We're going to go down to the stomach again, or to our prone position here. And just letting our upper body get a break here, relaxing your shoulders for now. And then thinking about how we can really fire up our core and our glutes in this position. It almost happens automatically because you have your feet elevated. And for some people, that might be enough. You may not even want to have the roller that if you feel like your lower back is working really hard here. But try to pull in through your core. Create that internal support here through your abdominals. And then we're going to take a breath in. And on the breath out, just trying to lift your right foot off the roller, even if it's just an inch here. Take a breath in and try to lift the left foot off the roller. Come back. So it's a single leg extension here. We try to get all that energy from the glutes, through the core, through that leg, and beyond here. Very good. Now wait, there's more. There's always more, right? So now we put our arms out in front of us, and then we try to do the same thing. We combine the arms and the legs. I like to come up a little bit when I do this, so I have a little room to breathe. Keep the spine tall, and now add the opposite arm, opposite leg. Powerful core here. And again, if you don't like to have the roller underneath your feet, you can skip that. Let's see if you can hover all four limbs and kick, kick, kick. Just do that a little bit here. Breathing in, breathing out. Look at the front of the mat. In, out, in. Open shoulders. In, out. One more breath here. In, out, and relax. Whew. Okay, now put your feet out towards the corners of your roller here. Put your hands next to your ears and very slowly press yourself up here off the floor. Coming up and just trying to straighten your arms out. Maybe you only come halfway on this first one and then go back down again. Take a breath in, exhale, and come back up again. Just feeling that same rolling up here. Very good. Straighten up. Come back down again. Easy, easy here. And again, kick the roller out of the way if you don't like it. Or we can even turn around and do our swan dive from this end. So easy, easy here. The core is still firing for us. Everything is still connected. Here we go, last one. And let's go back now to our child's pose. Remember those variations you had here earlier with the roller underneath your core? Maybe behind your heels. Feel free to try that. Or a third one, if you feel like you really worked your upper body a lot today on the roller, so put your hands on the roller and maybe walk the hands out to one side. And we're working with that. And then we come back in the middle and we roll up from there. Okay, we're getting close to the finish of our workout here. So we're going to do a little lateral work, and for this, again, we have some different levels that we can try out. The side leg series in its original format here can be done on your side, maybe with a roller as a pillow. Like some people like to do it like this. You rest your head on the, you can even put like a little towel or something under here if you like. But that's one option here to kind of keep us streamlined but not having to worry too much about stability. Then the advanced side leg seaters or the side leg kick happens up in a kneeling position. Now if you decide to do the kneeling position again, make sure you have good cushioning underneath the knee. You can even maybe fold up your mat here just to make it a little extra supported for that knee. I'm going to start demonstrating. Those of you who want to do your side leg on your side, just stay where you are there on your side. Okay, so we're doing a couple of variations here. We're going to put that leg forward, put your bottom hand on your roller here, and then put your hand on your forehead. There's a very kind of elegant way we can kind of step ourselves into this, but remember, this is not a stable surface, so get into this in the safest mode possible here for you. So straighten out the body. The hand on the forehead here is a reminder to keep our focus forward. So we're not looking down, we're looking straight ahead. Now we kick forward. 1, 2, and then we swing the leg back. Try to get into the swing a little bit more here. So kick, and come back. Breathe in, breathe out. Now whether you're on your side here on the mat or you're kneeling, you want to try to get that foot up as high as hip width apart. And this is why this is considered an advanced exercise part of it. Kneeling, because it really is tough to keep that foot in line with the rest of the body here. Nice. Then while we're here, actually let's just go ahead and switch sides. That'd be nicer for all of us here. Okay, that side, a little break. Now we try the other side here. Same thing, side lying. You're just going to turn to the other side and kneeling. We're going to do this. We pick that foot up and we kick. Inhale for 2. Exhale back. Inhale for 2. And it's sort of a given here that one side probably is stronger than the other. Maybe have more flexibility. So just a typical example of why Pilates is so helpful. We work both sides here. Try to get both sides to move and strengthen. Good. Now going back to the first side again. And I'm going to demo the advanced version of this first, and then I'll talk you through what you can do if you're side lying. Okay, so we were here. Now we're going to do what we call attitude. This is actually a reformer exercise. So picture that your top arm and your top leg are going to move together. You're going to go forward, out, back behind you, back out. Can't really see what I'm doing here, so let me give you a little more view from above here. So here we are. So we lift, forward, out, back. You bend that knee, go back out. You can see this is a ballet exercise, right? You bend as you go back. All right, we can kind of play with this on the mat too. Maybe bend the bottom leg here for a little more support. We can go forward, out, bend. It feels good. And back out here. Forward, out, bend. We can exaggerate this a little bit to get a little hip extension there, and back. Let's do that one more time. Forward. I know those of you are kneeling right now. You're probably dying here. It's really hard. Back, out, and release. And let's try the other side. Okay. Same thing here. Kneeling or on your side. We're just switching our direction here. Again, arm and leg. Forward, out, back, and up. Forward, out, back, and up. And there is that focus to looking straight ahead, looking forward or to the side, and then looking down. And then coming back to release. Now while we're here, little nice side stretch, rolling the roller out, and then sliding this top leg out as well here. Kind of moving into it, almost like you get a little groin stretch too. So letting the legs separate here. And then we want to be able to pull ourselves back again. Now, if you're not kneeling, the best thing to do is to come to a seated mermaid. Back here, that feels wonderful. But just rolling the roller into that side stretch, right? You got it. And then switching sides. Seated here. Or kneeling here, where we're sliding that leg out and coming back. And roll it a little bit closer. Sliding it out. Very good. Last one. Beautiful. And then come back to release from there. Great. All right, and finally, we've done a lot of work today. Let's open up the hips a little bit more here. So let's go ahead and come up into a kneeling position. I think everyone can do this. Again, cushion up the knee if needed so you have good support. I'm going to put my roller next to my right side, and then I'm going to take a wide step forward with that right foot here, keeping my focus forward, and then just leaning into it here. It's not so much about how far we go, it's about just getting that openness through the hip. So pushing the hip forward can be helpful here, using the glutes a little bit. Very good. And then we switch sides. Do the roll to your left. Wide step forward with the left foot here. Leaning into it. And we come back and all done. Very good. Let's have a seat on our roller at the end here. Sit with your legs crossed in whatever way is comfortable for you. So let's just finish with a couple of deep breaths in and out here. Let you really come down on your sit bones, let the shoulders and everything else relax here. And then we take a deep breath in and out. Try to really open up the breath into the back of the body here. We worked a lot today. So inhaling deeply and exhaling. And let's take a deep breath in for good health. Bring our hands to the heart. Thank you, class. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for taking this class, using this recording. I hope you find it helpful. This is the first class we're going to post. It's roller Pilates. So I welcome any feedback. And we'll continue on. Like I said, we're probably going to try to release another class soon and bring in some props and continue our practice. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. I look forward to getting back to our roller again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.